Wang Yibo's career didn't explode overnight. It stretched, sharpened, and reshaped itself across 11 long years. Years filled with pressure, silence, reinvention, and the kind of persistence most people don't see. 11 years is a long time in the entertainment world. Long enough for some careers to rise and fall. Long enough for trends to fade. But for Wang Yibo, 11 years wasn't the end point. It was the moment everything aligned. The moment he proved, quietly but fiercely, that consistency beats noise every single time. His story didn't begin with the fame we see today. It began with a boy who couldn't sit still, who loved movement more than words, who never explained himself because he knew his actions eventually would. When he first stepped into the industry, people didn't know where to place him. Singer? Dancer? Actor? Idol? Even he didn't pretend to have all the answers. He just worked, while others talked, while others boasted. He worked like someone who didn't have a backup plan. The early years weren't glamorous. Long rehearsals, missed cues, endless training, criticism that sometimes went too far. But what made Yibo different was that he never ran from pressure. He let it shape him. And slowly, quietly, the industry began to notice. Then came the defining decision to stop being just one thing. Around his third and fourth year, he started diversifying, hosting, acting, competing, doing things people didn't expect. He didn't announce the change. He didn't make a dramatic comeback statement. He simply began showing his versatility. And that versatility changed everything. By year 6, he had built a reputation that made people rethink what idol meant. He wasn't the type who chased attention. His personality wasn't soft or bubbly or overly charming. It was precise, calm, observant. Some called him cold. Others called him mysterious. But those who watched closely understood. This was someone who valued excellence over excuses. Then, the Untamed happened. Millions watched. His character became iconic. And suddenly the world realized what the quiet boy had become, a force. But here's the part most people forget. The real milestone wasn't the fame. It was how he handled it. He stayed disciplined. He doubled down on growth. He didn't get comfortable. Instead, he expanded even further, racing professionally, joining high-level dance competitions, taking serious acting roles, and proving that fame didn't make him soft. Year 10 and 11 were the turning points. This was when Yibo stepped into roles that demanded depth, complexity, and courage, roles that required far more than good looks or popularity. He transformed from a rising star into a professional artist respected across industries. Year 11 became the year of clarity. The year people looked at Wang Yibo and said, "He's not here by luck. He's not here because he trends. He's here because he built every brick of his career by hand." What makes his 11-year milestone powerful isn't that he achieved success. It's that he earned it, piece by piece, without shortcuts. He proved that staying power matters. Discipline matters. Reinventing yourself matters. And most of all, believing in your craft even when others doubt you matters. Today, 11 years in, Wang Yibo stands not just as a performer, but as a blueprint for longevity in the modern entertainment world. His story didn't peak early. It scaled upward, step by step, with no wasted effort, no unnecessary noise, and no desire to be anything other than the best version of himself. And that is why his 11-year milestone isn't just a number. It's a testament to evolution, to grit, to quiet ambition, to the kind of talent that doesn't fade, it sharpens. This milestone isn't an ending. It's the beginning of the chapter he fought 11 years to earn. Wang Yibo's 11-year milestone didn't arrive loudly. It didn't need fireworks, trending hashtags, or a dramatic announcement. It arrived quietly, the same way he began, with steady footsteps, silent effort, and a commitment to growth that never depended on applause. But if you look closely at 11 years of his career, a pattern appears. He never repeated himself, not once. Every year introduced a new version of him, a new challenge, a new layer of ability that made people lean in closer, trying to understand how one person could reinvent himself without ever losing his identity. Early on, people only saw him as a dancer, someone with strong movement, clean lines, and natural rhythm. But he wasn't satisfied with being one thing. He never is. He moved into acting not because it was easy, but because it was the next mountain. And like everything he does, he didn't rush to prove himself. He let time and effort speak. That patience, the kind of industry doesn't teach, is what changed everything. By the time his acting roles gained global attention, most people thought it was a sudden rise. They thought he simply appeared in the spotlight one day and stayed there. But if you trace the journey, you'll see the truth. He climbed there slowly, with discipline that didn't need public validation. His roles became more complex, his performances deeper. Every project had a piece of him in it, the kind of honesty you only notice when you replay the scenes. His growth didn't shout. It whispered. And that whisper echoed louder than noise ever could. Then came the unexpected turn: racing. Many celebrities try hobbies. Few commit enough to reach professional level. Even fewer dare enter a sport where mistakes are measured in milliseconds. But he did. He trained, he practiced, he studied, he failed, he rose, and he returned to the track again and again. People questioned him at first. They wondered if he was trying to take on too much, stretch himself too thin. But that's the thing about Wang Yibo. He doesn't take on anything to impress people. He does it because it challenges him to become someone he has not yet met. This part of his journey introduced a different kind of respect. Not the entertainment kind. The real-world kind. The you risk something to earn this kind. It became obvious that his career was never about staying comfortable. It was about becoming limitless. And then, somewhere along the way, another version of him emerged. The storyteller, the explorer, the man willing to step into the unknown. Exploring the unknown became more than a show. It became a window into his mindset. He didn't choose the easiest tasks, the safest routes, or the predictable outcomes. He chose the experiences that forced him to adapt. That version of Wang Yibo, curious, daring, quietly brave, reminded people that growth isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's just a man standing at the edge of something new, taking a breath, and stepping forward. At his 11-year point, fans expected a celebration, a highlight reel of achievements. But he didn't deliver nostalgia. He delivered evolution. He walked into the next chapter of his career with the same calm confidence he had at the start. No exaggeration. No theatrics. Just intention. He partnered with global brands not as a face, but as a collaborator. He released creative work that carried his personal imprint. He deepened his presence in sports while expanding it in art. And through all of this, he stayed quiet, not out of hiding, but out of focus. The entertainment world loves noise. He chose consistency. The world loves spectacle. He chose substance. The world loves shortcuts. He chose process. And that is why year 11 matters more than a number. It marks the point where he stopped being a rising star and became something more stable, more defined, more enduring. An artist whose career cannot be explained with one label. A public figure whose influence stretches across industries. A performer whose work cannot be predicted because he keeps choosing the unpredictable. But the most interesting part of this milestone isn't what he achieved. It's what he didn't say. He didn't talk about the pressure, though everyone knows it exists. He didn't talk about the challenge of balancing so many fields, though the workload must be intense. He didn't talk about the sacrifices, though every success story has them. He simply continued. Quietly. Intentionally. Consistently. This silence created a new kind of intrigue. People began wondering what was happening behind the scenes. What was he planning? What direction would he move next? Would he continue acting? Expand his racing career? Build his own brand? Choose new artistic ventures? Or step into full creative independence? This curiosity is what made his 11-year milestone different. It wasn't just a reflection of the past. It was an opening to the future. And the truth is, the future looks bigger than anything behind him. Because 11 years taught him how to build, how to grow, how to recover, how to transform, and how to outlast expectations. With that knowledge, he isn't just stepping into a new chapter, he's designing it. Quietly, strategically, fearlessly. That's why fans consider the milestone less like a celebration and more like a warning to the industry. Wang Yibo is entering his most powerful era. Not the loudest era, not the most public, the most intentional. And if his journey has shown anything, it's that intention is the one force no one can predict and no one can stop. Because Wang Yibo doesn't chase the spotlight. He moves and the spotlight follows.